And here we go. They come flooding in. Hey, guys.
Hi, Mr. Catlin.
What's up? Hey, Philip.
I've already been outside.
Oh, yeah, me too. That's why I still got my hat on. My hair is, I got some wicked hat hair. It's pretty bad.
Mom told
So
me to take off the mask.
that's nice. You don't have to worry about the snow getting your eyes with that. Those are pretty sweet.
I
Yeah.
was ice skating on my pond yesterday and fell in.
Well, I'm glad you're still alive. So
Well,
it's kind of scary. Yeah, I don't think
some
we've had
people.
enough cold to freeze some ponds all the way through where it's safe to get out there. I wouldn't recommend doing that.
Oh, I just ran across my pond and made a big snowball and threw it at my brother's.
Well, that's one thing about this snow. It's not very wet, so it's kind of hard to make a good snowball. My daughter was trying to throw one at me earlier. It was just kind of a mist of snow that she had. It kind of fell apart as she threw it at me. But yeah, I went out earlier. We didn't do much just because it's still snowing. We still need a good few more inches to get some solid sledding in, I think. But it's supposed to go until like 5 or 6 tonight, around our area anyway. So my 1-year-old has been crashing in on my daughter's Zoom. So if he makes an appearance, I apologize. If he's loud, it happens. He's one. We got a couple more minutes till 1 o'clock. I think, and it was late last night. I'm pretty sure I was just tired, but I said in the video that our meeting was at 2, and I know our math is at 1. So hopefully nobody took that to heart. I put in the comments on the video that it was supposed to be at 1 o'clock. So hopefully nobody took it too seriously. But we'll see. I'll probably get some emails afterwards like, I thought it was at 2. You said it was at 2. I'm sorry. We'll try to keep it pretty simple this week. We are doing some new stuff, but it's nothing too crazy. And I'm trying to space it out a little more than I did back in November, so you guys can have a little more free time. Because I know if I were you, I don't want to be out enjoying the snow. We haven't got a good snow in a while, so I know I like to get out and do it. And some people like to stay in and read and play games and do that kind of stuff too. So spend some time with family. I get that. My daughter got done with her school about 11 o'clock. We just knocked it out real quick. She wanted to go outside. I was like, well, not until you get all your school stuff done. So let's just get it out of the way. So I think she's got an AR book she's got to read and take a test. But other than that, she's done. So they didn't give much at the elementary today for Central anyway. All right, it is 1 o'clock. So if you guys would, they're asking that if we're going to do attendance, that your camera is on. So if you can put your camera on, it looks like most of us have that knocked out. Just so I can see you guys are there, and we're gonna get through this pretty quick. I think I mentioned it in my video that I posted this morning. Actually, I posted it last night. I'm not gonna do like a daily assignment. It's gonna be kind of like an every other day type thing. So if you did the assignment for Tuesday already, then you're pretty much good for tomorrow. You won't have anything to do tomorrow for math anyways. So that's what I would suggest doing. Like the next time you guys will have anything to do will be Wednesday if you finish the Tuesday assignment, because we're going to go through the Tuesday assignment together here in our Zoom. So if you want to go ahead and pull that up, it should be on the calendar in Schoology on Tuesday, and it says like NTI Math February 15th and 16th. If you want to go ahead and pull that up, if you've already done it, you can just kind of nod your head as we go through it and be like, yeah, I aced this. This is good. But if you haven't done it yet, it's a good opportunity just to go ahead and knock it out, and you won't have to worry about really doing anything for math tomorrow. Okay? So just a heads up there. Um, If you want to work ahead, like I said, that is perfectly fine. Give you a little more free time throughout the week. And then I'm instead of doing a Friday only quiz, I'm going to post it Thursday, probably right after my 1 o'clock Zoom that I have with my afternoon classes. And then you guys can knock that out Thursday and have a full free day on Friday. Because Friday looks like it's going to be a little better weather wise for you to enjoy the snow than right now. It's just, man, we were out there for about, I don't know, 45 minutes, and that wind is pretty rough. So maybe we can get a little more higher temps. You can go out and actually enjoy it and stay out a little longer. But for those of you that just came in, if you would, I'm counting attendance for those that have their cameras on. So if you guys would get those cameras on so I can see you. And we're going to go through um, our assignment that I posted. It says it's due on Tuesday, but we're going to go ahead and knock it out today. That way you have nothing to do tomorrow, which I think is pretty cool. So you guys are going to have a pretty easy day tomorrow if you go ahead and get this done. And some of you might already. I noticed that some have already taken it, and that's perfectly fine. You can work ahead. There's no problem with that. So, all right, I'm going to share my screen. We're going to go through these 4 problems real quick, and then you guys will be done for the rest of today and for the most part for tomorrow too. So that's a good thing. All right, so let me go to my screen share and find the one that I want to share first, which I think is this one. All right, so if you joined while I was kind of rambling on there, you go ahead and open up Tuesday's assignment. It says NTI Math, February 15th and 16th. If you haven't taken it, work along with us. You'll have it done. Nothing to do tomorrow. If you have taken it, but you didn't make 100, do it again because you can do 3 takes on it, right? So I'd go ahead and do that. And as we knock these out, you can have all of the questions correct and, pretty easy stuff. The main thing for this week is we're taking these word problems and we're representing them with tape diagrams. And then later, the next lesson that we'll have, which will be Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to solve for X or Y or whatever the variable is in the problem. So by the end of the week, it'll be essentially story problems that would have been equations that you could have written and solved with algebra, but we're going to use tape diagrams to start. So what I want to do here, and I'm going to open up my chat so I can see what you guys put. Number 1 is about this problem with Lynn. You should be able to see it on the share screen that I have. If you guys would just type in the chat A, B, or C, which one do you think represents the story? And other than just A, B, or C, I also want you to type what part of the story made you pick C, B, or A, or whatever you picked. Like, was there like a key phrase that you saw that made you want to think plus or minus or this many X's or whatever? So what was kind of the key phrase that threw it off, that made you think that? And I'm going to open up the chat and see what you guys have to say. And I might ask for somebody to share so we can, it'll be a little quicker than us reading them. So um, just type in the chat which one and just a quick explanation of why you picked that one, A, B, or C. So I'll read it if you can't see the screen. Lynn bought 4 bags of apples. Each bag had the same number of apples. And after she ate one from each bag, she had 28 left over. All right. So that's the situation. I've almost said that's the sitch. My daughter's been watching Kim Possible, which is this old Disney cartoon, and she's like, "What's the sitch? What's going on?" Sorry, that was random. My mind's thinking randomly right now. Okay, so let's look in the chat and let's see what we got here. We already have some TikTokers out in the snow. I see that. I figured there would be some videos being made. Uh, my daughter made a snow angel, and I could see some snow angel TikToks coming out pretty soon. I see a lot of C's. Eating one from each bag, Lane. So he's thinking takeaway. That's good. That's good. Um, apple away, -1. Very, very good. So after eating 1 apple from each bag, the key word there being each. Notice that the -1 is taken away from every one of the X's. That's really good. Call me, beat me. Kara knows. Yeah, it gets stuck in your head too, even as an adult, because that was a little bit after my generation, but she's loving some Kim Possible and Ron Stoppable over there. The eating part. Yeah, I mean, really, if you see that word that there's eating going on, then something's being taken away. It's gone, right? I like that. I like that. So you guys should have knocked that one out pretty easy. So if you're doing this along with us on Schoology, number one, we definitely want to pick C here because of the takeaway. The takeaway of one right here is kind of given away when it says eating one apple from each bag, which kind of leads into number two as well. If you look at number two, okay, this one was, I thought, was a little bit harder to pinpoint. Okay, there were four options for this one. What part of the story does X represent? I can't remember all of the four options, but in the chat, what does the X, we picked this one, right, to represent the story, right? In the chat, type, what does X represent? What is it representing? And you might have it pulled up and you have those four options, but X is representing something very particular. What is it representing? Let's see what you guys can put in the chat for that one. They're taking one away from each of the X's, and there's four of them. So think of each of those expressions being representing as what? Let's see what you guys can come up with. So I'll give you a moment to think about that. What does the X represent in our tape diagram for this particular story? Let me let Kyra in. She's coming in here. What does the X represent? I very specifically left off the options here so you can think a little bit. We're eating one, right? That's where the -1's coming from. You guys got that. But what are they taking one away from? That's really the question here. And we need to be specific about our choice. So don't be shy. Leah's the first one to stick out there. Apples. More specifically there, Braden, look at Aaliyah's answer there. How many apples are in a bag, right? It's how many not how many apples are all together. It's not how many apples are there after she took them all away. It was how many apples were in the bag, and then Sophie really nails it down there with before she ate them, right? So X represents the number of apples in every one of the four bags, and then she went and grabbed one from each bag, hence the takeaway ones happening four times. Okay. So yeah, it's the apples per bag there, Carter, but kind of adding Sophie's little before she started chomping down on them, right? So on that one right there, you're going to look for the choice that says apples per bag before she ate any of the apples, something along those lines. I can't remember exactly how I phrased it, but it was very specific. So make sure that whenever you do that one, it's apples per bag before eating, right? Before what's her face, Lynn. Lynn goes around and starts chomping down on the apples. It's how many are in there every time. So this representation is for the story. And what we're going to work on Wednesday and Thursday is what is the value of X. And some of you probably are pretty good at doing that already without the diagram, but they're going to get harder as we know. So being able to make these little diagrams can be helpful for those, that like those visuals. All right. Let's move on to the next one. So let me stop this screen share. And we're back. I love Colt's blue, like Tron looking room there. Sorry, I just randomly started getting some footage of you guys. He's got like his little silhouette there. If you can't see Colt, check out his room. That's pretty cool. And then of course Braden's like all I see of his is like his top of his hair. There he is. Okay, he's there. All right, it's like a mound of blonde awesomeness of curls. All right, I'm gonna share this other screen. These are the last two problems, and then we're done. I know that you guys are probably itching to have some free time, maybe see your family, hang out, go outside, whatever. I'll try to knock this out pretty quick. So the last two problems were kind of matching things where I gave you a story and you had to match it to a tape diagram, or I gave you an equation and you had to match it. Okay. So number 3, I'll read the story. And then I tell you what, let's do it this way. Can I get a volunteer to read the story? And it just say, write it in the chat. First person be like, I'll read. And I'll call on you and you guys can unmute and read it for us. So the quicker you guys volunteer, the faster this goes. Somebody to read. All right, Kyra Goodson has volunteered. Unmute yourself, Kyra, and read to us about Amy.
I can barely see it, but Amy wants to save $180 for a new jacket. She has saved $60 up to this point. She expects to have enough money after 8 weeks of her regular babysitting Knight and the Johnsons. Which tape diagram best represents her story?
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Kyra. And you got 4 different choices there, A, B, C, and D. Let's start off with in the chat. Type in which one that you do this. Type in one that you think it is not. One that you can eliminate really quick and be ready to like tell me why. You're just like, I don't want to pick that one. That ain't gonna work. So think of one that is definitely not and be ready to share why. Okay. And you can go ahead and type it in the chat if you're like, oh, it's definitely not this one because I can rule out D. Sophie says D, and now Sophie back that up with D because, or Kyra say B because. Remember, we're putting in one that it is not the one that it is, the one that we feel like we could just knock out for sure because there's no way this would be right. Okay, Sophie's like D because it has the wrong numbers. Yeah, the story has 60 and 8, but those things aren't really compared. One of them is weeks and one of them is dollars, right? So we can't put those together. I like eliminating that one. That's a good choice, Sophie, and a good explanation on why we could say, yeah, it's not going to be that one. Kyra's changing her mind, which might lead to me to believe that you think B is the correct answer, and that's fine too. Let's hear another one, A, B, or C that you would eliminate, and I'll wait on you guys to type it in the chat and then just a reason why. All right, Colt, A, because 180 is the number she needs to get to 60 is not the number. I like that. That was the one I was thinking in my head, Colt, was I can eliminate that one because 60 doesn't make sense as a total if you've got something that's 180 in the box, right? Like that's one we could definitely eliminate. All right, so 2 good reasons to eliminate these 2. I like what we've done so far. So it kind of gets us down to C and B, which is good. We're doing well so far. And I guess now just pick the one that you know it is, or you can eliminate C for a reason. Type that into the chat. Let's see if you guys can come up with the correct choice here for number 3. All right, Kyra was leaning toward B as well, Sophie. Right? What's something that makes B match the story? Like, what's the giveaway that, oh, it's got to be this one because? Think about that, and let's see some good explanations there. Why is B the right choice, and why can we eliminate C, or one way or the other? It says that she has 8 weeks of babysitting, right? So she's already got $60. She's trying to get 180 for this new jacket. What does how is the 8 weeks represented in Sophie's B? Nice, Kyra. Nice. There's a big piece in it for the 60 she already has. So this is money she has, right? I like that. She already has that money. She's already saved that, which they had happening here too, right? But this would be like $8 for what, right? Wasn't getting $8 just randomly. No, I like the way that Kyra G has put it there. B has 8 weeks of X amount, right? Every week that she babysits, she gets the same amount of money, right? So this right here, these 8 X's represent 8 weeks of getting the same amount, 8 weeks of work, right? We don't know how much she gets every week, but we know she gets the same amount, right? And C is the 8 is like a tip. Yeah, that's a good thought there, Carter. I like that. You could think of that as maybe like a tip. But she's not getting tips. That's not mentioned in the story. That's a good point. That could be happening. But usually if you're like a regular babysitter, it's like, hey, I'm going to get this much every time that I do this, right? So I think it makes more sense to go with the B there for sure, right? And if we found out what she made every week, then we could multiply that by 8, add it to the 60 she's already saved, and she's looking to get $180 altogether, right? Okay, so let's move on to the last one. Number 4, you had to do some matching, all right? And this one was just straight up matching the diagram to the equation that's down here, all right? So before you guys go, I want to make sure that you have the right answers on this one. I'm going to get it started with the first one because I feel like it's pretty straightforward. You've got 5, and you've got an additional 2 X's, right? So 5 plus 2 X's equals a total of 19. So that one would match this one right here, right? So I know that one's going to be knocked out there. All right, can somebody else give me another match? You could type something in the chat like C matches blah, blah, blah typed into, or D matches blah, blah, blah typed into. This one gets a little tricky with how many times the X happens, maybe how many times the expression happens. So type into the chat a match that you feel pretty confident about, and we'll put it in here if it's correct, and then everybody will have right answers before we leave. All right, so I'll keep my eye on the chat here. Let's see what pops out. Is it not showing up, Kyra, on my screen? I thought I was sharing it. Or is it just too small? I can probably zoom in a little bit. That might help. And if I zoom in that much, you can't see the other options. You can pull it open. You can pull it up in your Schoology account. We're doing the Tuesday assignment if you can't see it on my screen. Sorry. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, it is blurry. It probably is a little bit blurry. I could see that. Just pull it up in your assignments. It'll be number 4. So we got one match. Somebody give me another match. I'll wait on you guys. All right, Cherry's stepping up. He's saying 5x plus 2 equals 19 is E. 5x plus 2 equals, which one is that? The one down here. 5x plus 2 equals 19. Oh, I marked the wrong one. Somebody needs to point me out there. I wrote one thing down and marked out the wrong one. I wrote down this one. I'm sorry. There's my dyslexia coming in there. I picked that one, didn't I? Sorry. And Cherry is saying that 5x plus 2 equals 19 is E. Okay. Okay, I see what you're saying there. So you're saying that this one, 5x plus 2, it matches this one. All right. Cherry, I'm going to put you on the spot, and I want you to tell me why you put those two together, okay? So unmute, be like, yeah, I like what you picked there. Tell me why you went with that one. Because a lot of people put that one together.
There are 5 blocks, and then you're adding 2 in every one of those blocks.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. There are 5 blocks, so I get the 5 X's. But note this, there's also a 2 in every one of those blocks, right? And this is pretty common to match up E with that particular equation. Okay, so I like that you actually pointed that out. But I want you to notice that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 twos. And 5 twos makes 10, not 2. Okay, so I'm glad that you pointed that out because a lot of people make that same mistake. And that's good because we can learn from that. We don't want to match those two together, even though I wrote that down. Okay, that one doesn't actually go with that one. Which one has 5 X's and 1 2 in it? C, D, or E? Type that in the chat. Which one has 5 X's and a single 2? Just 1 2. Carter's got it, right? C has it in there. So this one has 5 X's and a 2 equals 19 altogether. So that one actually goes with that one, Braden. And I like that you brought that up because you're not the only one that's missed that match. A lot of people get those backwards, right? Having 5 X's and 5 twos would look more like which of these two that are left over? Which one has 5 X plus 2 groups? Which one down here has 5X plus 2 groupings? Well, you got to look for the grouping symbol, which is E, right? Yes, E, but you see how it matches that one, Braden? I've got 5 multiplied by X plus 2s. I got 5 of these things. X plus 2 looks like that, right? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And after all together, that equals 19. Now, you might say, well, isn't that really the same thing? No, it's not, because 1 2 versus having 5 twos is pretty significant in its difference, right? Which gives us our last one, and we're done right after this. 19 cut in half is X plus 5. Okay, so this one's a little bit tough. This is kind of just process of elimination, I know, but I want to explain it. If you took this 19 and you cut it in 2, right? What's left over? X plus 5, right? If you take that 19 and you cut it in half, you have x plus 5 left over. And so that is the same equation as what's really going on over here. So you can use that one to match that one. Those are your matches. I know it's kind of sloppy the way I wrote it down, but if you were working along, you should be able to drag those and drop them. I think number 5 is just anything you select is going to be right. It's just kind of an opinion thing. So have fun with that. And hopefully, if you guys followed along and did those together with me, you should have a perfect score and nothing to do tomorrow because you went to the Zoom, you've watched the video, and you've completed the assignment for Tuesday and today. So that's all I've got. I'm going to go ahead and stop my share so I can see some more faces and wave goodbye to all y'all cool people out there. If y'all have any extra help or need of anything, just let me know. I think everybody that's here did everything last week, so no issues there. And stay warm, but have fun out there. All right. So y'all are free to go. Thank you for coming by. We kept it under 30 minutes.
Time to go play on the pond.
Yeah, don't fall in, Philip. I don't want to read in the news where a kid suffers from frostbite if he fell into this pond. Okay. I would
Well,
like you to come back to school with all of your limbs.
I might not come back with all of them, so I might be.
Take care of yourself. All right.
You too.
All
Bye.
right, see you, buddy. Have fun out there. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna. If y'all don't have anything else. Oh, Sophie, good question. The homework packet that I gave out last Monday. Don't worry about it. You can trash it. Everything we do this week, we'll kind of, we'll just take its place. So don't worry about that packet. I'm not gonna take it up, and y'all can throw it away. If you've lost it already, no problems. All right. See you, Riley. Have a good one. Have a good rest of the day. You too. And Kyra is typing in like lyrics to me. Okay. Y'all have a great rest of the day. See you guys. See you on Thursday, I think no, Wednesday is our next day. 1:00 Wednesday. Adios.